Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome home to your space of awakening. I'm Cynthia, and this is Discover Your Dreams. This channel was born from my own journey of transformation, a path of learning, unlearning, and remembering the truth of who we really are. Here we walk together, exploring the timeless wisdom of Neville Goddard, Napoleon Hill, Florence Scovel Shinn, and Dr. Joe Dispenza to rediscover our divine power and create lives that reflect the beauty of our spirit. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's step into this moment together. Today we're stepping into one of the most misunderstood but powerful spiritual skills you can ever learn: detachment. Not the cold, emotionless kind, but the sacred, trusting, faith-filled kind that frees your blessings, quiets your mind, and aligns you with divine timing. This lesson is inspired by the four teachers who have shaped my spiritual walk: Neville Goddard, Florence Scovel Shinn, Napoleon Hill, and Dr. Joe Dispenza. And as always, I'm weaving my own experience, grounded in nature, grounded in ministry, grounded in lived transformation. So get cozy, take a breath with me. Let's walk through this together like we're sitting on a porch, watching the sun settle on the trees. When most people hear detachment, they think, let go of what I want, stop caring, or walk away. But spiritually, detachment is something very different. Detachment is the quiet confidence that the seed you planted is already growing, even if you cannot see it yet. Neville Goddard taught that once you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you release the desire because you know it is already done in imagination, and therefore must be expressed in the physical. Florence Scovel Shinn described it as acting as if the thing you desire is already yours, while remaining utterly unmoved by appearances. Hill framed it as a definiteness of purpose, followed by faith, which is really another way of saying release the how. And Dr. Joe Dispenza explains detachment scientifically. When you surrender the outcome, your brain stops firing old pathways, and you enter a state of coherence where you actually become a better receiver for new possibilities. So detachment isn't giving up. It's giving over to the divine, to the universe, to God, to the laws that govern creation. Let me share a metaphor from nature, my favorite place to learn truth. Imagine planting a seed. You tuck it into the soil, you water it, you give it sunlight, you check the soil every few days to make sure it's nourished. But you don't dig it up every afternoon to see if it's sprouted. You don't panic because you don't see a leaf on day 3, and you don't yell at the dirt for moving too slowly. You trust the timing of the seed because you trust the process in nature. Detachment spiritually is the same thing. You plant the intention, you nurture the inner state, you live as if your prayer is already answered, and then you trust the unseen work happening beneath the surface. The seed is becoming the tree long before the tree becomes visible. Let me tell you a story. There is a woman named Beth who had a dream of opening a small healing studio, a quiet space where she could offer meditation, energy work, and inner healing sessions. She prayed, she visualized, she journaled, she imagined the feeling of unlocking the door every morning and greeting her clients. She planted the seed beautifully. But every few days, doubt whispered, what if this isn't going to happen? What if I choose the wrong dream? What if nothing is moving? Beth kept digging up her manifestation by checking the physical world for proof. She drove around looking at empty buildings. She researched loan programs obsessively. She begged the universe for a sign. She constantly asked, when? And every time she checked, doubted, or tried to force the timing, she unintentionally disrupted the spiritual soil. Each of our inspirational teachers would have their own way to explain Beth's circumstances, but the one that resonates with me the most is what Dr. Joe Dispenza would say. Her energy was in survival mode instead of creation. It wasn't until she surrendered, deeply surrendered, that things started shifting. Beth finally stopped searching for buildings and began focusing on the version of herself who already had the studio. She tended to her inner world. She gave her attention to what felt aligned. She let life unfold. 6 months later, a friend called Beth out of the blue. My yoga studio partner moved out. Do you want to share the space? The rent was affordable. The location, perfect. The timing, divine. When she detached, the miracle had room to find her. Let's be honest. Detachment sounds peaceful, but it can feel terrifying. Why? Because detachment forces us to surrender control. And for many of us, control equals safety. Napoleon Hill would say that doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. When you try to detach, you might feel pressure to figure it out, anxiety about the unknown, fear that if you stop pushing, nothing will happen, or a need for constant reassurance. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. And detachment is part of your spiritual evolution. Some people misunderstand detachment and swing to the opposite extreme. Okay, I'll detach by doing nothing. I'll just wait for the universe to deliver. But that's not detachment. That's avoidance. Detachment is aligned action without emotional desperation. It's preparing your life as though your desire is certain, not forcing the outcome, but aligning with it. Neville Goddard called this moving in the feeling. You still move, you still act. You don't scramble, beg, fight, or obsess. Your energy becomes calm, grounded, receptive. There is a man I worked with who wanted to get married more than anything. His name is Parker. He prayed for a wife. He visualized long-term love. He filled notebooks with affirmations. But instead of trusting divine timing, he forced every dating experience. Every woman he met, he immediately thought, is she the one? I need to make this work. Parker tried too hard. He pressured the connection. He rushed intimacy. He panicked at any small delay. And of course, nothing stuck. Florence would say he was chasing the manifestation instead of attracting it. Finally, one day, after heartbreak number 5, Parker walked into nature and cried. He was sick of following the same old pattern. He sat himself beside a river and said out loud, I trust that love will meet me in its own perfect timing. He wasn't giving up. He was finally surrendering to the universe's divine timing. From that day forward, he stopped forcing connections. He detached, not from the desire, but from the desperation. And when he met his future wife a year later, it flowed so naturally, he barely noticed it happen. Detachment created space for the right person to enter Parker's life. Divine timing is not delay. Divine timing is orchestration. It's the universe aligning people, resources, circumstances, and pathways that must come together before your desire arrives. Florence said, nothing stands between man and his highest good except doubt and fear. Neville said, your desire is seeking you as much as you are seeking it. No matter how you word it, what it really means is divine timing is not the universe making you wait. Divine timing is the universe preparing you, strengthening you, aligning you, and sometimes even protecting you. Everything arrives when it can flourish. I had a client a few years ago named Megan who applied for a job she desperately wanted. She prepared, she prayed, she visualized, affirmed, and she truly felt this was her next step. Then, she didn't get it. Megan was devastated, confused, even angry at her spiritual practice. She felt abandoned. But 3 months later, the company laid off half its staff, including the person who got her job. Meanwhile, Megan had been offered another position with higher pay, better hours, in a healthier work environment, and in a company that was experiencing huge growth. Divine timing wasn't late. Divine timing was merciful. Sometimes the delay is the miracle. I have included a few steps according to the teachings of each of the 4 inspirational teachers in the description below on how you can practice detachment in your life. Now let me share something from my own journey. There was a time when I wanted clarity about my purpose. I tried everything: coaching videos, travel content, art videos. I kept searching for the right way to show up, but nothing felt authentic. So I stepped away, thinking it would be a few weeks. But life, being life, kept unfolding. During that 2-year pause, I discovered Neville, Hill, Dispenza, and eventually Florence Scovel Shinn in a deeper, life-changing way. That pause, which I thought was failure, was actually divine timing, preparing me for the calling I walk now. I stopped forcing my purpose. I stopped gripping the outcome. I stopped trying to control how the channel would look or feel. I detached. And that's when my ministry, my true work, revealed itself. Divine timing wasn't making me wait. Divine timing was making me ready. Detachment isn't about indifference. It's about trust. It's the quiet confidence that life is unfolding exactly as it should. When you've reached that space, you'll notice it in the way you feel. A deep sense of calm, like you have finally exhaled. A gentle expectation, soft and steady, without urgency. Gratitude that arrives even before the manifestation shows up. A feeling of inner abundance, knowing you already hold enough within. And faith that the universe, or life itself, is working in your favor. And with that shift, certain habits naturally fall away. You stop checking the clock because you just trust timing. You stop fighting the process because you know it's carrying you forward. You stop needing proof because your belief feels stronger than evidence. That's when the magic happens. You begin to live fully, freely, and joyfully in the present. Detachment isn't about waiting. It's about living now with peace in your heart and openness to whatever comes next. You know, when we talk about detachment, it sounds simple in theory. Let go, trust, and allow life to unfold. But in practice, there are some very real blocks that get in the way. So let's walk through them together. The first, fear of time. Sometimes we worry that things are taking too long, or that we're running out of time. That pressure makes it hard to release control because we're measuring everything against a ticking clock. Next is fear of loss. Letting go can feel like losing something, a person, a dream, or even a sense of identity. That fear keeps us clinging tightly even when holding on hurts more than anything. Then we have the fear of being disappointed. We've all been hoping for something only to be let down. So we guard ourselves, thinking detachment means we'll miss out or be let down again. Followed by the fear of trusting God or the universe. Trusting something bigger than ourselves can feel risky. What if it doesn't work out? What if we're left hanging? That doubt makes surrender feel unsafe. There's also over-attachment to the outcome. We get fixated on how things must turn out. We script the ending in our minds, and anything less feels unacceptable. That attachment blocks us from seeing other possibilities. Another block is trying to control the how. Even when we believe the outcome will come, we often want to dictate how it happens. We micromanage the process instead of allowing it to unfold naturally. And finally, there is impatience. Let's be honest, waiting is hard. We want results right now, and impatience makes detachment feel impossible because we're constantly checking, pushing, and forcing. Here's the encouraging part. Every single one of these blocks can be healed. They're not permanent walls, just temporary obstacles. With awareness, practice, and compassion for ourselves, we can move through them. Detachment isn't about giving up. It's about trusting enough to let go of the struggle. Try this simple exercise in 3 simple steps. Align, release, and receive. In the morning, take these steps to align yourself. Focus on gratitude and visualization. Repeat your chosen affirmation at least 3 times. Feel the energy of the outcome. In the afternoon, focus on release. Say, I give this over to divine timing. It's unfolding perfectly. And then in the evening, prepare to receive. Meditate for a few minutes. Surrender the day and the control of the outcome. Bless the process, and then rest and trust. Do this consistently every day for the next 21 days, and watch your world shift. There was a woman who always felt called to a higher purpose, but life kept distracting her. Jobs, bills, relationships, survival. She prayed for direction. She begged for clarity. She wished for an open door, but the door didn't open until she had gone through heartbreak, financial struggle, and pushed transformation. When she finally stepped into her calling, she realized, I wasn't waiting on my purpose. My purpose was waiting on me. Divine timing isn't about delay. It's about alignment. And when you're aligned, things move quickly. This is where all 4 teachers agree. The moment you detach, you enter the frequency of already having. Neville says detachment equals fulfillment. Florence says detachment is the same as faith. Hill says detachment equals persistence paired with belief. And Dispenza says detachment is perfect quantum alignment. In practical terms, detachment removes energetic resistance, fear, doubt, urgency, misalignment, and low vibration. When those things fall away, your manifestation flows in effortlessly. You don't have to force anything to be yours. You don't have to chase what is aligned. You don't have to fear missing your blessing. What is meant for you cannot be lost. What is aligned with you cannot pass you. What is yours by divine right will arrive, and it will arrive better than you ever imagined. So breathe, detach, surrender the timing, and trust the unfolding. Your life is not late. Your blessing is not late. Your purpose is not late. You are right on schedule in the eyes of Devine. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'm Cynthia, and this is Discover Your Dreams. If today's message spoke to your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to awaken in their own power. Until next time, keep imagining your best, speaking your truth, and walking in faith, because your dream life is already waiting for you to believe in.